open. Let's keep it open for a while. Yeah, it'll be nice.
Okay, we are going to call the meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Welcome Idea Committee meeting members to this meeting of January 21st, 2025.
All right, we'll do roll call now. Committee member Forte,
Here.
Khalil, Zoltowski,
Here.
and Chair Dennis.
Here.
Member Kolhakar is no longer part of the Idea Committee per his resignation letter last week.
Queen isn't able to make this special meeting tonight.
Okay. Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Great.
Okay, I will call vote. Committee members Forte,
Aye.
Khalil, Zoltowski,
Yes.
and Dennis.
Aye. I'm stating the obvious, but I guess there's no one member of the public
No
that
public
wishes to make a
comment.
public comment.
No.
Okay. Well, for the approval of the minutes from November 20th, 2024. Wow, that seems so long ago. Can I get a first?
Yes.
Great. And a second.
I can second.
Roll call vote. Committee member Forte,
Aye.
Khalil, Zoltowski,
Yes.
and Dennis.
Yes. Okay.
We'll move on to new business. Review public meeting guidelines and meeting times. So this is what was new from compared to the last week's agenda packet. We have a new memo from our legal counsel. And I'm going to share, let's see. Just what was provided and distributed to all committee members, commissioners, and council members. Sorry, Carol, I'm gonna scroll down.
Great. Okay, don't worry. Hey, but I have a question. And that
Yes.
is, if there are only two people, I mean, we went through a lot of back and forth about the need for 3 people to be present. And the Brown Act was quoted very prominently in that discussion. And I noticed, at least in the room, that there are only 2 people that are present. Am I incorrect in that?
There are 3.
There's
And-
3 here plus you.
Right, I know, I mean, yeah, I know, like, I'm not the one there either. But I guess the question is, how does that change what I'll call the legality of this meeting relative to last week, when in fact the same thing happened? There were 2 people and, you know, we didn't have an in-person quorum. So help me understand. I'm new. I don't mind I want to be educated about how this stuff is done. And I'm not trying to create issues, but I guess I just don't understand.
Well, as of last week, there was 6 members to the idea committee, so we needed a majority. So we needed at least 4 people to show up to make quorum.
Mhm.
So we only had 3. But since Mangesh left, this is now technically a 5-person committee. So we only needed 3. And today we have 4.
Well, yes, but you still only have 2 in person. And the discussion revolved around the in-person part of the attendees,
There's-
in part.
There's
not,
there's three in-person attendees now, so you have,
Alex, Layla, and
Uh,
Anna are here.
you see them?
You have to talk so the camera goes on you.
You see them now?
no, but that's all right. Go ahead. I'll believe you then. Okay, I apologize for creating a hassle.
Yeah, but that's a good question because the other thing is the majority of, so you need to have quorum, which is the majority of the members, but the
Mhm.
majority also have to be within the city of Brisbane.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's the other caveat.
Yeah, well,
So even if-
I'm not, but that's what it is,
Yeah, but even though like, let's say you have like a little cold and you want to take the meeting in, in your house. So that will still count as being within the jurisdiction.
Yeah, oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
so the new revised Brown Act, but it's basically legislation that they've been kind of molding during the pandemic, right? And then now post-pandemic period. So basically what it says is the teleconferencing rules for public meetings is remaining the same, meaning if you look at your idea committee meeting agenda now, we've noted that somebody is going to be taking the meeting via teleconference at so-and-so location, right? So Carol, we did that so that's basically the usual teleconferencing rules by the Brown Act.
Got it. Okay, I got it.
Post the pandemic, they provided other provisions, which is the just cause provision. And this is basically a quick email to the staff, stating that you are going to use the just cause, but it has to be defined or it has to fall within these guidelines. So the just cause provisions is about needing to meet remotely due to childcare or caregiving of a child, a parent, a grandchild, a grandparent, a sibling, a spouse, or a domestic partner. If you have a contagious illness, if you have a need related to a physical or mental disability, or travel on business of the local agency. So traveling for the city of Brisbane, like for example, like city council members go to some seminars, so things like that. The just cause provision is now limited to 2 per year, no more than 2 per year.
Okay.
And then the other provision that you're able to do is emergency circumstances, which gets approved at the roll call item. And this is a real emergency, like it just showed up and the day of or something like that. It means a physical or family medical emergency that prevents a member from attending a meeting in person. So this has to be a formal request and has to be formally approved at the meeting. So between the just cause and the emergency circumstances, the max to use these provisions is 5 per year
I understand.
per legislative body. So that's what's new. They've limited the number of times you can actually use these provisions. So the best really is if something comes up and you know that you're going to be away, away from, from Brisbane, or you have some kind of other thing to go to, you could always send me the address of where you'll be taking the meeting and we could always notice it that way. So that way it doesn't count for the just cause or the
I
emergency
see.
circumstances.
Okay, I got it. Well, I
So
guess
that's-
the question that I would have about that is this, again, it sounds, I know, a difficult way to talk about this, but, there were those of us that were there on the regularly scheduled meeting, and there were those that weren't for an unexcused reason, and, it gets like dicey here, politically dicey. That's all I'm trying to highlight here. So somebody could be punished for not coming to this ad hoc meeting, basically, which is outside the scope of when you normally have meetings. And I would just like to have that be something that I'm questioning, that's all. But, you know, it is what it is, and I'm not saying I'm not gonna participate, I'm struggling to understand the appropriate way to participate without creating waves all the time. I really don't wanna do that for every time we have a meeting, that's all.
Right, I think it's really important to meet like at our regular time, so even like the members of the public can come and
I understand,
participate and be engaged for sure.
Yeah. I understand.
And the one thing I think that, we talked about too in the city council meeting last week was, perhaps they wanted to change their meeting time, and that kind of like sparked something in me, and I'm like, maybe because, you know, there's working members here, you know, members who also have jobs and professions and school, like maybe we need to, as a group, decide whether or not we would want to change our committee meeting times. Push it back from 6 to like 6:30 or something like that. So at least people don't feel pressured and like have to eat dinner rushed and all that stuff. I don't know, I wanted to pose that to the group.
6:30 would be hard for me because it would start running into bedtime for the kids.
Hmm.
So like as it is now, I can get home like just in time to put them
Put
down.
them back. So 6
Mhm.
o'clock is actually better for you, yeah. How do other people?
I think this is probably the best of both worlds. I mean, you know, ideally even earlier, but not later, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to put it out there. Anybody else have any insight? The 6 o'clock works. And the other issue is, the city attorney and legal counsel, they're really going to be more, adamant about using the city website. We're gonna have actually like new members coming in. They have a recruitment, right? So then we have a couple of, seats available. So there's gonna be new members, and we want to just have to be in the habit of using our city website, our city emails for all of our work. Otherwise, for records requests, your phone might actually be like subpoenaed or something and have to be taken away from you. So you don't want those instances to happen. So I'll reach out to individually if people need like IT support, like how to help manage your email. So like when you see it, you could have a separate folder or separate account on your Outlook or something. So it's easier to kind of see or get pinged if you get an email. And it has to go through specifically through your city email. So let's start being in the habit for that, and let me know if you need IT support. And when do we have IT support?
Generally on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on site.
On site.
Yeah.
So you would need to come in, cause mine still isn't active.
Yeah, it would be
So I
helpful
can
to
come
come
in.
in and have him set you
Yeah,
up
he's-
on your laptop.
They're the ones that set up the actual account, so let's see what happened there.
What were the days? Mondays?
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, and is it here in the other?
Yeah, he goes back and forth between this building and the annex, so
I'll,
just let us know when you're coming so we can make
yeah,
sure
I'll email you
he's available.
the IT to set up a time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I think that's all for,
And then the 18 or older, I noticed, like, we have to ask if there's anyone 18 or older in the room if you're taking the meeting remotely. Was that something
No.
new? Or has it
No.
always been? Okay.
That's always been the
Yeah.
case, yeah.
Um,
And remember, you could even take your meeting at a beach or something. You just have to always have your agenda posted next to you. So you could post it on your, they were saying that some people have posted it on their like Coleman coolers, you know, they just put, I'm meeting here. So there's,
Your cabana.
yeah, as long as we pre-notice the meeting, there's a lot of flexibility around that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay,
Um,
oh, now you can see us, right? I'm sorry, it was being shared, so that's probably why you didn't see.
Okay. So we are at,
D.
old business.
Old business.
Right, okay. That would be business, and a lot of that. Old business.
Okay, there's a couple of things around the work plan review. One is we would like to review the work plan with our liaisons, or our city council liaisons, which is Mayor Lenz and Councilmember Madison Davis. And we were hoping to schedule that liaison meeting at our February idea committee meeting. So we don't have to have two separate meetings. Are people,
That'd be February 19th.
yeah, will that be good for people? February
At
19th
6.
at 6.
I won't,
Thanks.
Yeah,
but you can join the meeting.
it'll be 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, so Alex is out of town.
Yeah.
and
They will be
so
at the
we'll
beach
have-
though.
But they should be okay for me right now.
Okay, great. I think it would be great to have like just everybody present to talk with Madison and Cliff to get like their perspective on like the direction they want idea to take. I spoke with Cliff, he thinks it's a good idea to have the liaisons meet next month. And he said he's also open not just to council to provide direction, but for the committee members to provide, you know, more information and kind of a vision too of where the committee wants to go. So there's a couple of things in this work plan that I wanted to share and wanted to get input from the group. I'm now gonna share, Carol, the work plan, which is still in draft form. The first issue is, or one thing that I learned is that a lot of our work plan is based currently on this, you know, the community goal results. These are called community goal results, so safe community, community building, ecological sustainability, fiscal prudence, economic development. So these are the community goal results provided by the city council, and it was created like a few years ago, like 5 years ago. And this spring, the council members will be meeting to discuss priorities and possibly change and create different priorities for the city. So I think for now, the work plan based on the old goal results is fine, but knowing that the council will probably have further discussion about the next set of community goals and community priorities. To review for the safe community, we still, as an idea committee, wanted to talk about United Against Hate Week and participate in that campaign. And we were gonna do that using or continuing the short film festival, which was very popular when we held it a couple of years ago. Community building. A lot of this is based on events that will bring people together. One of the number two is one of the thing. Okay, let's start with number one. I'm sorry. One of the first activities we wanted to highlight based on the survey was also like a focus on young adults. We don't know what this event is yet, so that's to be determined by the event committee. Second, we wanted to propose a service project, and that's why we wanted to touch base now, because we wanted to kind of be in commemoration of Martin Luther King Day. It's like a service project. So I wanted to talk about that. Is that cool? Because last time we were talking about possibly supporting a refugee nonprofit or something from Sacramento, was it? We didn't have like a lot of time to make the connection, but we did have a campaign locally that was happening that we wanted to kind of highlight and perhaps start the service project with this local nonprofit. So let me share more information about that nonprofit. Okay, I'm gonna stop share and I'm gonna show you the website of the organization. It's called Catholic Worker Hospitality House. They wanted to highlight that their mission is to serve the needs of low-income and homeless individuals in our community. They wanted to note that this is a nonprofit that's not affiliated with the Catholic Church or Archdiocese. And they also wanted to highlight that this nonprofit serves all people regardless of religion. And basically this is a homeless shelter and it's the closest homeless shelter to the city of Brisbane. The person who is the head of this organization is also a resident. Basically, they provide emergency shelter for homeless population or unhoused population, I should say. And they also have a dining room that feeds guests 5 mornings a week. During the time of, I believe during the when the dining room is open and when they have the emergency shelter, the guests also are provided showers and baths. So a lot of their request is about donating toiletries to the organization. So we're thinking that this would be a great opportunity for us to help with their to hold a toiletry drive for shampoos, conditioners, soaps, and toilet paper, just like we do during the holidays for coat drives and toy drives and food drives. But this would be special for toiletry drive, for those products, because we just, we thought it would be, we thought it would be just a better, like to better select a handful of products instead of providing too much options. So they said our contact mentioned that he would love new and used shampoo regardless of size, soaps, and toilet paper.
And that's the resident, Peter Steeler.
We were hoping that we could do a month-long drive from now until the end of the month, the 28th, the end of February, February 28th. And yeah, we think it would be good. We could provide sites here at City Hall and in the annex. I know a lot of people are kind of worried about what's happening in LA. But we thought this is actually something where we can make an impact locally. Yeah, so we wanted to just post that to see if people were interested.
I think that's a great idea.
Start advertising it. Tomorrow.
Are we still okay with like kind of linking it to like the MLK service project and?
Good with that.
Okay, so thank you for that. And then moving back to the work plan. Some of the other events we hope to do is number 4, Day in the Park tabling. So that's in October. Basically that's like all hands on deck for all the committees and commissions. Everybody has a table. Another another great event is a Brisbane 101. This is going to be kind of like another all hands on deck for the city departments and for IDEA. It's a way for us to have a leadership academy in their community and for them to kind of also be kind of a way for us to make connections with people, residents that we don't usually have, we don't usually are not usually engaged in the day-to-day here at City Hall. And we're hoping that they could also be promising recruitment applicants in the future. So my guest came from a Brisbane 101, so like we would want it to be kind of like a training run for future committee members and commissioners. And get them really excited and engaged and connected to City Hall. We're gonna talk about this later, but you know, we were hoping to have other representation, like an idea rep in things like housing element, that's like a program that's held by the Community Development Department. The age-friendly task force, that's huge. We're gonna talk about that later. The Park and Rec Festival of Lights Subcommittee, they really value idea and idea members' insight on that. It's like the end of the year. We also have had community requests to hold the following events, right? Diwali in November-ish, December. The festival, which is in May for Asian American Pacific Islander month, and then we also have Mexican Independence Day in September. It's gonna be a fall heavy.
Mhm.
One of
September
our-
16th.
And then also like United Against Hate is like November-ish.
Day in the park in
So
October.
hopefully we can spread this out a little bit, but it is getting to be fall heavy. Other groups, oh, another thing that's coming up is let's see. Notable dates and celebrations, that's when we do proclamations. And then we have our flag guidelines that we continue to monitor, and then we will also have like a greater discussion for district versus at-large elections. I gotta change that one, and then I have to, this is basically discussing like what type of elections will help engage like more people in certain parts of the city. Next, we'll have also representation in like our ecological sustainability work around the Sierra Point area. And then fiscal prudence, track Betsy activities. That's our little store. And how much do we have in there?
So after our 2 sponsorships for Diwali this year and last year, we have about 700 remaining in revenue, net revenue, $782.67 to be
So that's
exact.
basically our budget for events. Maybe more if we make an ask with
Mhm.
city council members next month. Because we were also saying that maybe it's also a good idea to have like that cultural grants program someday, so that when we have money tied to that program, then we could have it be really community led. Okay, and then lastly, economic development, and this is something that I was hoping the policy committee can do. I was somebody approached me about this safe exchange zones, which is, do people know about that?
If you like
No.
something on Facebook Marketplace or
Oh,
Nextdoor, it's just a
Sure.
place to meet to give them
Market.
the item and get paid, yes. So,
We think that would be a good way to kind of research the possibility of having something like this to help out with people who are in the gig economy and trying to resell their items or and sometimes I find myself doing this too, because I'm like, you know, when my husband tries to sell something, I'm like, make sure you're not right in front of the house, or I don't know, like just to be really aware of like your safety and you know, my children are around and things like that. During the holidays, this was really a hot topic in the news. Like for example, Fremont Police, they have a new safe exchange zone, and this one is like a parking space, you know, and it's being monitored. There's video surveillance, so we kind of have to speak with the police department to see what is possible here. I know parking is really coveted. It's like a real asset here, and I don't know if people want to lose per se like a parking space here at City Hall, but we could kind of figure out like where would be the best spot to provide a service like that, because sometimes you never, you really need like a safe space
Yeah.
to buy and sell.
Mhm.
So there's little guidelines here that I like to, like, of course, there's no exchange of drugs, weapons, alcohol, and other illegal items. Um, there must be person in person. And it's not like where you're dropping off something like, like
Right.
like an Amazon, here's an Amazon box, pick it up here. Um, and it's not a drop off where parents can leave children for a later pickup time. Oh my God. But this is good
We
that they've
actually have
already
to
thought
say
of
that.
these
Mhm.
policies and rules, because I would never have thought like people would say, okay, honey.
Wait there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good that they also have safety tips here, because I honestly think like it's so prevalent now. Everybody's selling their things like Facebook Marketplace and not just Craigslist. It used to be Craigslist.
Yeah. that was
Mhm.
But now there's so
very
many
much-
other many other avenues to buy and sell. So are people would people be interested in something like this, or do you think it's could be part of the work plan or not?
I'm not sure like how much of a need there would be. Cause I don't do it, but I think that a lot of people do, and so maybe taking a survey or a poll or of some sort to see before kind of moving forward.
Mhm.
Everything is just done virtually so much, it's hard to say.
I guess the comment that I would have is I'm not sure how that fits in with the concept of diversity and inclusion and equity. I don't see it, somebody should educate me again on this too, but I don't see how this particular thing fits in with what our mandate is.
You can see it fitting in with the accountability aspect,
Mm.
safety being part of that. I think the
I'm sorry,
idea,
I can't hear what you're saying.
I said it could fit in under the accountability aspect.
Also,
Being accountable for the safety of the community members.
the concept of having a sales area, I just don't see it.
It's not a sales area. It seems to be approaching from the lens of safety. So if people are looking to do some sort of transaction, to have a secure location to ensure that there's no crime that might be committed or anything of that nature.
It reduces the crime. you mean?
Reduce, yeah, so.
The issue why I kind of wanted to bring it up to IDEA was the fact that a lot of the people who do the gig economy and the selling and the buying are also from lower socioeconomic statuses, or generally, I think so. I was approaching it from that lens.
It's like a way to create opportunity for
Yeah.
Economic,
Our-
yeah.
citizens.
Is it
Residents.
something perhaps to discuss with the police station to take, because I mean, if it was if we were to use the parking spots in this area. On this lot, it might be good to talk to them, see what their capacity is, see what their take on it is, and then, yeah, doing a poll.
Would you like us to do this through the policy committee?
Sure.
Just to create more like research
Mhm.
opportunities with the department.
Mhm.
And then who is in that,
Alex is.
I know Gash was, right?
Mhm.
Carol, I think Carol, you wanted to do more policy?
Absolutely. That's why I wanted to talk to Mayor Lens, et cetera. It's because I believe very passionately, especially given the fact that major corporations are getting rid of their diversity and equity and inclusion organizations. I'm sure you guys have all heard about it. I'd like to understand what we're supposed to be doing. Because although we're not elected, I appreciate that. And there's lots to do when we think about inclusion. I wondered if there was any input from the council, frankly. And I'd love to hear what their thought is. See, I don't think we should necessarily be driving stuff. I think the council should be telling us, because they're the ones that are accountable, where we should be driving and what we should be creating and what we could come up with. That's what I think, but, that's just what I think. So in terms of policy, if you want to say that that's policy, that's great, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I know kind of what our mandate is at this stage.
Well, we'll begin in terms of like kind of the activities for IDEA. We'll start with going through the work plan with the liaisons, which are the two members that I mentioned, which is Madison and Cliff. And then from that point on, they'll provide more direction to the committee. And then we will finally like provide a presentation to the larger group, the entire city council members at a council meeting. And then they will formally approve the work plan.
I understand. Thank you.
That'll be the next steps.
Okay.
All right, I think that's it for me for now. And then we'll schedule the liaison meeting for the 19th. And then so possibly not have the meeting with the police department until the liaison's okay, the work plan for that. Okay. Let's do that. Thank you.
Moving along to, age-friendly city updates.
Right, so Miyoko was our representative from IDEA
Yeah.
for the age-friendly task force when they were meeting, and there is going to be more work ahead now that there's an action plan that the city council reviewed at their meeting last week. There's several different, there's 8 different areas of work, but most of it will, I think, under social inclusion will involve IDEA committees perspectives, or would lend IDEA committee members would lend a lot of perspectives in that area of focus. And so Nicole Houghton is our Parks and Recreation supervisor who will be convening meetings in the coming months. And so we wanted to see if anyone on the IDEA committee would step into that role of being the representative from IDEA to attend those age-friendly meetings with Nicole and others on the task force to put into motion the action plan items. And we can send along, it's a 92-page document, so it's not like in the packet, but we can provide the link to that council.
It's comprehensive.
It's a-
beautiful.
yeah.
I don't know, I loved it.
A lot of pictures.
A lot of
It talks about
areas.
IDEA too, and our, like, the purpose of the committee and everything. So they did a really good job of pulling that all together. So if anyone is thinking that they want to be that representative right now, let us know, or we could send it out. And you can take a look at the action plan and then let us know. They're not calling a meeting like next week or anything, so there's time to review it.
In terms of time commitment, do they want to meet like once a week or twice a week?
I don't think they met that often before the action plan, so I wouldn't think it would be more than like once a month. That was their usual meeting cadence, similar to our meeting. And it was during the daytime though, from what I recall, like in the afternoons,
Mm.
generally around like 3, so that might play into your consideration, but
Or it might change?
Hmm?
Will it change the time?
don't know. But I know there's an option to attend virtually too,
Oh,
because Miyoko did that when they would meet at the library. They had a Zoom component if you wanted to
Okay,
attend
okay.
virtually.
okay.
Anyone interested?
I'd love to just get a little more information. on
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I will send out the staff report and the actual work plan document and then we can go from there. But you can't reply all, right?
Just,
Okay.
When you send, that's why we're sending things blind copied
Mm.
too, so that's
So that we
another.
can't. First. First come, first serve, I guess. Alrighty. Send that email out. And then the next item under idea survey update. This has to do with the Engage Brisbane tool that we have the short film. Well, there's two projects on there right now. There's the one that involves young adults, and then there's the one for the idea short film selection. Let me just share the screen so you can see what that looks like if you haven't been able to go to Engage Brisbane yet. The URL to get here is just brisbaneca.org/engage. And so here are the two projects. Taking Your Ideas for Ideas Short Film Festival, and then the Young Adult Series Survey. This survey actually has 13 days left, but they have over 150 responses to this. So this is for 16 to 24-year-olds. So thank you to those that let your networks know or your children know to take this survey. That'll be really great to see the results of that come into play as they form the series. But as for the short film festival project, we only have a few suggestions, 3 to be exact. And so I wanted to show how you go about submitting your idea because it's not the same as a survey where you could take it anonymously. It does require an email confirmation, so there's just like a step involved. But when you go here and you click on view the ideas, you can view them, and here they are. It gives a little background about when we held this in November of 2023 now, during United Against Hate Week. And this was held in the council chambers. So we have a link to a playlist on our YouTube channel with 5 of the 6 videos, and then this one that just couldn't be added to our playlist for reasons of copyright. So we have a little description of the videos, as well as we wanted people to watch them and read about them first and then suggest your ideas afterwards. And these are the 3 that we have. A committee member, idea committee member actually suggested this one, These Final Hours. And so it has a link to the trailer and a little description, and you could add a comment, you could vote it up, or I think you have to log in, so it didn't do anything, but you can see the ideas, teaching tolerance to preschoolers and how social media algorithms create echo chambers. So if you wanted to submit your idea, then it would prompt you to, oh, it's not asking me to log in yet, but you could put your title in, and then, oh, because I'm signed in already, that's why. I logged in on this tab, but it's smart enough to know I'm already logged in. So you could put your title and then your description, and here's where you could add a thumbnail. You can embed a URL so that it actually has a thumbnail image of the video from YouTube or like Vimeo. So this is available for anyone to submit their ideas because we really want to hear from the members of the community this year as far as what short films you think are important to have your fellow residents view during this short film festival. So just wanted to go through that, and hopefully we'll get more in the time remaining, which is, I did push it out some because we're not having the event probably till the fall. So it's open until April 30th. So go and submit, and then when April 30th rolls around, then we can vote, cast your votes to distribute amongst the various videos. But we can't do that yet because the phase hasn't started. So we're back to phase 1. Just watch the videos and then see what comes to mind. If you have anything, then please put it in.
can we do like other voting projects here too, like, you know, how people have like poster contests or. Can people do that?
Oh,
Like for future campaigns, like if we have a poster contest or something like that, and then people can actually vote
yeah,
democratically on something.
yeah. We would set it up as a survey next time, so you could do it anonymously. I think that really made a difference in the number of survey respondents for the young adult one versus this one, but it is a little bit more
It's good. Yeah, it's great. like,
fine-tuned.
Yeah, you can get the trailer and everything in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure a later meeting will talk more about this, and we want to decide on the actual films, and the like 5 or 6 films that are going to be shown. Okay,
We have something, that's happening, it's on the 8th or 4th of February about like, well, it's not all just about films, but authors, anybody kind of like showcasing talent, right?
oh, artist evening of sharing,
Yeah,
yes. Oh, thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
Someone reached out and told me you should really reach out to the filmmakers that show their art, their films
Mhm.
at that artist evening of sharing event,
Yeah.
and see if they have anything already that they could compile for this.
That's what I
Um,
was thinking, how does
yes.
the two kind of,
There's David L. Brown and Keith Moreau, so, and they're both showcasing this year
Mhm.
at Artist Evening of Sharing. So
Great.
thank you for that reminder.
We should reach out to Diana too, Oseto, because remember her husband does.
Oh, yeah.
Someone should do a documentary, you know, he sets up those portraits, is it portraits of like, you know, his photos? He goes into like nature and
Whose photo?
Diana Seto's.
Oh, husband?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
someone should do a documentary and do a time lapse. He does like, what do you call those pictures? Like, I don't know what they call us.
Well, the shutter speed is really slowed down, and so,
You know,
yeah.
they look in the desert. She says they hike like up the mountain,
She has to
several
hold-
miles.
she has to hold the light for
And it's
him.
dark, so they have to do
mentioning
flashlights.
that, yeah, that's a whole production.
Someone should do a video on
Jeez.
that.
Yeah.
I would watch that anyhow. Okay, let your friends know, or, you know, please engage with
Yes,
that tool.
Really
It's so
want-
exciting.
I think that's it for the update, survey update.
Great. All right, announcements.
The recruitment period closed. And we have basically, with Mangesh's resignation, we have 2 terms that are open, ending in January 2027, and 1 term ending in 2026. Because of Mangesh's resignation, so you're taking over. The person will be taking over his seat. We have, Adam wants to get reappointed and is requesting to be reappointed without interviewing. Because you get to do that after your first term here, it's like part of our bylaws. And then we have 3 other applicants, I mean, they're new applicants, so, fingers crossed, we get to interview. Council will get to interview the applicants like first week of February, and then they can join us possibly as early as.
What's the liaison meeting?
Huh?
The liaison meeting in the 19th? Oh, wait,
Maybe, I don't know,
if they get sworn in before then.
yeah,
Mm.
if the interviews, so we're still trying to figure out when they'll be interviewed, so fingers crossed.
That would be
The
fast
schedules
track.
align, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay,
That's it.
gotcha. Any member announcements? Any announcements?
Go to Artist Evening of Sharing. When on the 8th, it's at 7:30 at Mission Blue Center. Saturday, February 8th. There's 16 different performers that are going to showcase their art. Mhm. Even, the creative director, Beth Grossman, is even inviting, like, if you have, any, like, grade school kids or like young adults that this is a great introduction to different mediums of
Mhm.
art. It's not just like visual art, but there's performing art there. There's gonna be Bollywood dancing during intermission. It's gonna be fun time.
So it's not just one thing or another, it's kind of this hodgepodge of art, so.
Yeah.
Some short films,
Yes,
maybe.
2 at
authors.
least.
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah.
Maybe some reading, so
Mhm.
like authors,
Nice.
free event.
Wonderful. Well, I guess if that is it. And now we can call this meeting adjourned at 6:53 p.m.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Bye, Carol.
Wow,
Thank you.